Hey, hey, you are on the couch with Key. I'm your favorite access piece, Key. Thank you for taking the time to stop by and sit down with us and have a chat. I appreciate it. I'm going to apologize for all the technical difficulties of the first video. We still trying to figure it out. This is my first time doing it, so I appreciate the patience in the meantime. But we're going to go ahead and get started. I have with me some invisible love today because y'all can't see it, but she's still lovely and she's still gonna get some love today. One of my best friends, Janet.
Hi guys.
Welcome, Janet. So, one of
Thank you.
the you welcome, love. So, did you want to say a bit about yourself, or you just want to dive right in? It's your choice.
Um, my I've known Kimmy since high school in Warner Robins. What else? I don't know. I'm just happy to be able to support and offer my tidbit about masculinity and emotions.
Awesome. And speaking of, that is our topic for today, masculinity and emotion. So we're gonna do it like the church do it. We're gonna define the word first and then just dive into the topic. So I really just big on definition. You know what I mean? So I really just wanna be that. If we have those topics that are needing to be defined, we'll just start off with defining the words first. And that gives us kind of like a perspective to what it actually means versus how much has been tainted or held up to this actual meaning. So,
Right.
um, the first word is masculinity, a set of attributes, behaviors, and roles associated with men and boys. It varies among cultures. And the second word is emotions, a natural, instinctive state of mind deriving from one's circumstances, mood, or relationship with others. Affective aspects, a state of consciousness, a feeling, if you will, is what an emotion is. And also the origin of it is a French word that which combined excited and moved at the same time. So nothing in that definition said anything about female, male, none of the sorts. So I just wanted
Right.
to put like just wanted to put emphasis on that right fast. So go ahead, Jenna. I want you to start it off and tell me what you feel about the two and how they correlate or don't correlate.
Well, I mean, like you said, I don't believe that when it comes to emotion, there's like a feminine or masculine emotion. I think emotion is a human thing. So humans experience emotion, whether you're female, whether you're a male, whether you're old, young, we all experience emotion.
Right.
As far as masculinity is concerned, and that definition, that aspect, it's definitely something that's very important to me. And understanding masculinity and understanding emotions because I have a son. His name is Elijah, and it's definitely something that I try to focus on a lot when it comes to like raising him. And especially nowadays, we live in a society where um, men are how do I explain this? But men, the roles that men play, or how we define men has so many different meanings, and how to raise a man is definitely something that you know not always easy, especially being a single parent. So it's definitely something that I guess is something that I'm trying to understand and also understand from my own perspective, from my own life, not only from my son's life. So as
Right.
far as masculinity is concerned, I think it's important to first state that this is just a perspective of me as a woman trying to raise a man.
Right.
So that doesn't mean that my perspective is right or my opinion about masculinity is right.
Right.
We would also have to take into consideration, I guess, the aspect of a man and what his definition or his viewpoint of masculinity is. This is just my particular perspective as a woman trying to raise a man. So I think when it comes to masculinity, I don't really, society defines it as something as being strong or having these certain characteristics like brave and and strong and a leader and all these other things. That that's what you define, or that's the image that you have of someone that's masculine. And when it comes to like emotions, to be masculine, essentially how society has defined it is like, if you're masculine, you're not emotional.
Right.
And if you're emotional, you're not masculine. And I definitely don't agree with that. I think that's a very, very toxic viewpoint when it comes to men and their relationship with their emotions, because it teaches them that they can't have emotions. And
Right.
So many times, if you look at the relationships between men and women, like the main cry that women have is like, oh, well, men don't understand our emotions. Well, that's because they were raised to believe that they weren't allowed to have emotions or express emotions or even understand their emotions.
Right. Right. Absolutely. And I like that you didn't go, firstly, when you first started talking about the topic, I love that you didn't go straight towards men now, right? You went towards, you gravitated towards the subject of your son, which is absolutely like the mindset that I would want someone to take when they're thinking about masculinity, because with your son, that's someone you're assisting with growing. Right? And so that means that you're trying to prevent the same set issues. That's, I won't say problems, because not all men have problems with being emotional. You know what I mean? So with some of the issues that we've experienced, that's what we're kind of trying to do. And I myself, with my son, I have a 4-year-old as well. And sometimes when he's crying, I would be like, man, good gracious, like, stop crying. Like, what you what you crying for? Right. Whatever the case may be. But what I've learned to do is to, even if I'm frustrated, I would be like, okay, hold on. What's up? Like, what happened? Why are you crying? Right? Use your words. What happened? What are we going to do to fix this? And how can I help? You know what I mean? And I do feel like a lot of men back in the day, or however in their upbringing, were told, oh yeah, you know, you need to man up, you need to stop crying and da 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 da. But like the definition said, people are crying or upset or emotional because of something that occurred to them, or an instance, a circumstance that happened to them. It's not basically like, oh no, you know, I can't cry. Like something in their character, in their mind, in their heart has made them feel like, oh man, you know, I need to be led in a different way other than happy right now. And then also the emotion piece of it is not just emotion. Like we've made emotional mean cry. We made we made emotional be like, oh, she whining again. Oh, she nagging again. And notice how my examples are she. Right? My examples in emotional could be anybody for the first piece of it. And then the second piece of it, emotional is more than happy. It's more than sad. It's more than nagging. It's more than upset. And so it's encompassing everything that you feel based off of what you have encountered. And so that's definitely how I'm trying to teach my son, like, yo, you can cry, bro, but what are we going to do to fix it? Can I do anything to help with it? Like, I want you to be articulate enough to say how you feel. But in addition to that, I want you to be resourceful enough to come up with solutions. And I feel like that would feel the same for a daughter. You know what I mean? I don't feel like I would feel no way different if I was raising a daughter. And I wouldn't be like, girl, you can cry if you want to. Now I'd be like, okay, mama, I see you. You moved. Like, but let's see what we can do to fix this or whatever. I don't want my kid to just be out of whack. And I feel like men that I've come encounter with, some will say that, because I want to be very specific that we're not talking about every male, right? So men that I've come encounter with, I have experienced like they're not able to articulate themselves, or angry is the only way they're okay with feeling. Other than that,
Right.
if you feel special, or if you feel like you might blush or whatever, because that's my thing, girl. I be thinking I'm charming. I be like, I can make a man blush. I can make a man blush, right? And so, and so sometimes when I'm talking with, guys, when I have spoken with guys previously and I say some things and they, kind of, I know they like smiling or grinning. I'm like, oh, I made you blush. They, oh, you ain't make me. You ain't. I'm like, boy, really?
It's okay.
Exactly. It's okay. You feeling me. It's fine. It's fine. You know what I mean? But
Right.
it's like, you don't even want to just appreciate that somebody made you appreciate yourself right fast. You know what I mean?
Right.
Like, somebody reminded you of how great you are. Because that's the most of the time when you're blushing, and most of the time when you're flattered, is when somebody brings to you a compliment or something of that nature. And, oh, men don't blush and da da da. And I'm like, yes, they do. They absolutely do.
Yeah.
Whether they are willing to own that bit of emotion, now that's a completely different story. You know what I mean?
Right.
And so it's just so interesting to be like living nowadays and then raising a son and wanting to be like,
Yeah.
I want to create a absolute great balance for my son, right? A good
Right.
way to express yourself, but a good way to stand up for yourself and find solutions for your problems. But I also don't want to be like, I'm going to build the perfect boyfriend for me in my son. Because
Right.
that's all right, because that's all that I'm doing is basically like seeing the tidbits of different men that I've experienced and just like, ooh, take that out, that's not okay, put that over there, carry it on. Okay, Jace, this is what you need to do. Mommy got it all mapped out for you. You gonna do
Right.
you gonna do this, you gonna not do this. Like, that's absolutely not how I want him to be. But sometimes we can only do things based off of our experiences, and so
Right. Exactly.
we want to start doing our own research. We want to start implementing the things that we've learned, absolutely our lessons, but we also just don't want it to just be basically off of our experiences, because that's going to cause you to be bitter. That's going to cause you to be like, you know what I mean? Teaching in a teaching in a not so good manner. So it's just imperative that we, let men know it's okay. Like,
Yeah.
emotion doesn't mean that. Go ahead, love.
Right. Like, it's okay to show your emotions.
Right. Right. It definitely doesn't mean that, you're less than. I actually had an interview today with the young man that was potentially looking for a job, and he was just like so poised. Like, I mean, he sat there straight up, back straight, legs crossed at the knees. He held his knee with his hands folded together, fingers crossing each other. And not for 1 second did I think him to be feminine. Just because of the way he spoke during the interview, he just carried himself so well. Not for 1 second did I think this man, yeah, he a little on the side. Not at all. But it was basically
Right.
that he was just perfectly fine being whoever he was. And he was like, oh yeah, my wife and everything like that. And I'm like, that doesn't even surprise me, because the way that you carry yourself is secure enough for me. And I also think that that's where men get confused. A lot of the times they're just like, I have to be this big, burly, big back dude that's like providing all this, protection and providing the money and da 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 da. That's not necessarily the case. How secure you are with yourself is how secure you can be to or towards someone else, and how much you can make them feel secure in a relationship.
Right.
And that's like the biggest portion of like majority of women's issues. Like, I want to feel secure. I want to feel secure in love. I want to feel secure to be emotional. I want to be okay with expressing myself and not thinking I'm going to get beat down for saying that this I feel, And so I think that men typically get so caught up in it, and some latch on to whatever notion they grew up on and live with that. Some are open to experiencing or trying to let you in a little bit more.
Right.
But so for you, tell me about some difficulties that you've experienced as far as like masculinity and emotions.
Okay, so I mean the first thing I'm gonna be perfectly honest. Like I
Okay.
was that person. Like when my son was born, when he was little, he would cry all the time. Like cry all the time about little things. And then he still cries now. But now it's like I'm working with him to like really tell me like, okay, why are you crying? Are you crying because like sometimes he would cry because he's upset. Sometimes he would cry because he's like aggravated. And like, like and I used to be that person to be like, you're crying too much. Stop crying. Like I would be that person.
Right.
But now, like nowadays, it's like, because I recognize something in myself. Like I personally have a hard time expressing like how I feel, or like I don't have a hard time feeling things. I just have a hard time communicating my emotions, to other people. So I recognize that about myself. And I realized, like I don't want my son to have that quality because I recognize how hard it is to form healthy relationships with other people.
Right.
Not relationships just with people opposite of sex, but also like, relationships with my friends. So to me, it was very important that I worked on that aspect with my son. So anytime he was feeling something, or, I noticed him maybe like crying, or maybe even if he wasn't crying, like, we were just having like a regular day, like I'd be like, hey, how you feeling? And he'd be like, oh, okay, like I'm good, like da da da. I'm like, okay, well, like digging in deeper and letting him know it's okay to tell someone you're having a good day. It's okay to tell someone like today you were upset. It's okay to tell people, like it's okay to talk about your feelings. There's nothing wrong with that.
Right.
So I think that's like the first thing that comes to mind. Now, there have been cases where I've had relationships with other people. I've been in relationships, and maybe the guy didn't necessarily explain to me, maybe like he was upset about something that I did, or
Right.
like something that I said, and then those things pile up. And when those things pile up, then there's like a tipping point where something small happens, and then, what's the saying, the fan hits the ceiling, And so I realized that it's very important that you're able to express, as a man or a woman, it's very important that you're able to express those emotions to the other person. Or even take, for example, like you're having a bad day at work, like you're stressed out at work, your boss is yelling at you, things aren't right, and then you go home and you're having a very bad day and you're aggravated, and then, like you're not aware of your emotions, and you get into an argument with your significant other, and then, that builds and builds and builds and builds, and then there's all this negative energy, and then no one's able to figure out what's happening because no one realizes, okay, like where they are emotionally from
Right.
throughout the day. Like when you're at work, you're stressed, you're upset, you're aggravated with what's going on at work. You get home, probably need a few moments to yourself, but you're not able to you don't articulate that.
Right.
You don't express that to your partner, and then you're aggravated with your partner, and then you and your partner get into a situation, and then that's just continuously ongoing. So not only is it important that you communicate your emotions, it's also important that you understand your emotions, and you're able to recognize how you're feeling throughout the day, because hey, throughout the day, your emotions and your thoughts and stuff and your energy, it changes throughout the day.
Definitely. Absolutely. And it's just like for men, I feel like it's a battle between their upbringing and in their current state, because whoever is they're dealing with is asking them to be more emotional, right? To asking them to express
Right.
themselves more. But also I feel like as a black woman, that's the only where I can speak on different perspectives, but my honest and first perspective is my own. And so I feel
Right.
like as a black woman, like we have to be masculine.
Yeah.
If you want to say that masculinity is the equivalent to no emotion, like we have to be that too. So I know y'all ain't gonna say that all the black women are masculine too, or we're not able to show emotion, because every time you turn around, oh look at her moody, oh look at her attitudinal, and oh da 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 da. Those are the stereotypical things to say. So if I want to be
Right.
seen as a woman that's not nagging, that's not over, I can't show any emotions either. So I guess I'm a man too. You know what I mean? Like, so we have all these things that we have to do and be and pretend to be, because we don't want someone to label us something other than what we are, which is human at the end of the day.
Right.
A human, a whole human being. You know what I mean? And so if
Right.
I'm just up there like, okay, I'm having a rough day, and I've just come to grips myself with being okay with vulnerable emotions, quote unquote. Because before, you would get all of the key emotions, okay? You would get like, oh, if I'm mad, you about to hear about it. Oh, if I'm happy, you about to see about it, whatever, whatever. But if it was something that dealt sincerely with my heart, you wouldn't know. Because
Yeah.
I was afraid to cry. I always felt like I had to buck up and bootstrap it, make sure, hey, you got this. At the end of the day, can you do something about that? Yeah, no, done and done. You know what I mean? And so
Right.
I feel like now and it's confusing for me, honestly, because sometimes I'm just like, like, am I doing too much? But I feel. So it's a matter of me owning how I feel sincerely, just straight up and down.
Right.
You know what I mean? And that's what it is for the men that think that they can't be emotional. It's not about you being a crybaby. Emotion can mean happy, whatever. It can mean all of the above, but you have to be okay with how you feel. If you feel like,
Right.
and I asked the simplest questions. I know I had one guy friend, very, very intelligent gentleman, but very, very uptight with his emotions for sure. And I took it as a challenge for me to kind of get him to open up more. You know what I mean? And so
Yeah.
when the simplest things would happen, I'll be like, oh, don't that make you feel such and such? Knowing that
Right.
he wasn't going to give me no leeway. But I know I put a thought in his mind like, now that's how a normal person would feel. So are you fighting yourself on this matter? Are you trying to look hard for me or whatever, whatever? And I just made it my business to try to make him feel welcome to express, whenever we were talking or whatever the case may be. So it's just
That's
like,
beautiful.
I try my best. I try my best. And that's the nature of who I am, though. I really do try to like pick people's brains and see how they work and all those good things or whatever. But I want people to feel free around me, and
Yeah.
and part of that comes with me being able to express myself truthfully. And then part of that comes from me knowing myself, being secure with myself. And so that's kind of like, and it's a growing and knowing and learning process. It sure is. Like every day I don't
Yeah.
feel right. Every day I don't feel the most secure. Every day I don't feel like my emotions match the situation. Like sometimes I'd be like, girl, what is you crying? Why is you crying? Like, what did you,
Right.
what did you crying for? Really? This is what we're doing right now? And so I guess so. What do you have to share? Like, do you have anything you want to say to the male population, or any tidbits, little golden nuggets you can give out?
I think first and foremost, I think I want to, apologize on the behalf of women or to men who've been in situations where they don't feel comfortable expressing their emotions, even to my son, like in the beginning, like, hey, parenting, no one tells you how to parent, so it's
Oh,
kind
for
of
sure.
all like uh, you're gambling every time. So like you're constantly learning how to be a better parent, right? So I want to say, like I apologize, and I've told my son this, like I'm sorry for the times where I've told you not to cry, or I've told you like, stop being so sensitive.
That's dope.
Um, yeah, I mean, it's important that as a parent you learn how to apologize to your kids because then your child will learn to recognize that you are human and you make mistakes.
Right. Yes.
Um, but I think it's important that I apologize, to anyone, any male friend, person I've been in a relationship with, my father, my uncles, my brothers, anybody, if I apologize if you've ever felt like you couldn't express your emotions, whether you were happy, sad, angry, mad, like, I know how hard it can be to be in a place where you've had these built up emotions and you haven't been able to really express how you feel, and that is damaging. That is very toxic.
Oh, for sure.
So I'm happy to know that there are avenues now and there are ways for um, the men in society to learn how to express themselves
Right.
and to feel comfortable doing that. And I want to encourage them to continue to do that
For
because
sure.
not only does it benefit, society, but, it raises the emotional intelligence of our society. And I think that's going to be a very big focus going forward is the level of emotional intelligence because that is what dictates your life, honestly.
Oh, for
Like
sure.
that's how your emotional intelligence is what will lead you to be successful in life. It will lead you to pursue your dreams. It will lead you to, overcome the challenges that you have in life. And
Right.
so I think it's very important that, you know, that both men and women, um, you know, obtain the emotional intelligence that they need to be successful in their life and to encourage others to do the same.
Right.
So I definitely want to say that first. And, like we're all human, we all make mistakes. So for me to sit here and say like every conversation that I have with the male or anyone opposite of sex I'm gonna be fully aware of their emotions. And sometimes I'm gonna say, okay, I can't deal with it right now or
Right.
whatever because I'm
Right.
human. But I definitely am gonna try to be more conscious of the way I speak to the male population and
Mm-hmm.
the space that I give them to allow them to express themselves.
Yes. Yes. And that's beautiful. And thank you for owning that piece and being able to accept that challenge because it's going to be challenging for
Yeah.
sure. So that's dope that
Yeah.
yeah, that's dope that you accepted that challenge. I guess for me, I want to say that I like the part of the definition that says that it varies among cultures. You know what I mean? So masculinity
Yeah.
varies among cultures. Like you have cultures where men wear skirts and and they had something where I don't know none of the rappers. I'm just gonna be real with you. But one of the rappers had on a dress and social media and the world went ballistic. Oh my God, da 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 da, this and then the third. Where in a different culture, that's no tea, no shade. Who cares? You know what I mean? And so
Right.
it's just like the permissions are with who you are dealing with. That's what that means to me. When we say it
Right.
varies among cultures, the permissions are who you're dealing with. If you got somebody beside you, you got somebody in your close circle that's encouraging you to be you at any capacity in love and in honesty, then that's a good space to be in.
Right.
And however you're feeling in those moments and you feel like those are your true feelings and your true self, then that's what you need to ride with. and
Right.
and I think like that's where the confusion comes. Like you don't want to spend a lifetime being like, dang, I should have said that, or dang, I had a feeling that I was gonna do this, or I had a feeling that I should have did this, and you never did that. You never ever remain true to you because you had to put up a persona for everyone else. That's difficult.
Right.
And that's not
Extremely.
right. Right. And that's not you living for you. That's you living to uphold a facade. And so that's what I want to say. And then when you coming out with emotions, especially if it's new for you, it can come out rough. You know, it can come out like, oh, I am
Raw
on
and
it.
unfiltered.
Okay. Okay. You come
Right.
out that thing like, I am in charge of my emotions now. You just taking guns and shooting people down. You like, whoa. Everybody like, okay, stay away from Jim. Jim's got
Right.
his man period. But the fact of the matter is, you have to still be able to come out of that space of being captured behind your emotions or hiding behind your emotions to, I'm going to articulate in love, I'm going to share in love, I'm going to express in love. And love don't always mean, hi, I would like to express my emotions to you today. Sometimes love can be a little bit more passionate and stronger than that, but the rude, the disrespect, the all those things, that's how you know you coming at it wrong. You know what I mean? If you
And that's
feel,
how you know you're coming out of fear.
oh yeah, girl, you better say something when you said something. That's what you are so right. That's exactly because you're trying to intimidate
Right.
rather than articulate. Then you got to congratulate. Now let me stop. But that's absolutely true. And we want to be able to make sure that we're sharing those emotions in a space where somebody can actually assist you with the solutions, right? And not to the point where somebody is just like, oh, that person is crazy. He done found himself, but whoever himself was lost. And he done came back lost. You know what I mean? Like, we don't want to create that type of space, especially if you're in a loving environment where someone is welcoming you to be you and express yourself. And so that's what I want to leave with. Like, the permissions are within your circle. It's within your love or your companion, your spouse, whoever you're sharing with. If those people are not giving you the okay to be you and feel how you want to feel, that's the problem. That's the problem. And that's why I absolutely want to piggyback and say, yes, I apologize. I apologize if you're in that situation now. I apologize if you were in that situation when you were being raised. And I apologize if you still feel that trap behind those things now. And if you're in a space where somebody is muffling you that way, get out. The movie, get out. In real life, get out. In fake life, like however you want to do, get out. Because that's going to be an issue. That's going to be a real life issue coming soon. And you don't want to sit up there and build up that regret, because that's all you're doing. You know what I mean? If you're in that space. So, do you have anything else you want to share, Mama?
The only thing that I do want to say is that, it's very important, like, that when people start to like really hone and tune in to like, okay, like I want to grow as a person, I want to evolve as a person, and I want to do that from my, like I want to grow my emotional intelligence. It's really important that you kind of bring awareness to how you feel throughout the day. And then not necessarily not control your emotions, but notice like when you're happy, notice when you're sad, notice when you're mad, and then kind of like notice how you feel that way in your body, and know know how to be aware of it. And when you become aware of your emotions, you're able to better manage those emotions. So, like for me, like I'm a very emotional person, but I don't. For a long time, like I didn't know like how and why I felt the way I felt. I just was all over the place. And when I was really upset, I would say a lot of mean stuff.
Right.
And I would be on the defense, and I would act out of fear, out of love. And so it's important that when you're like on the journey of trying to understand and grow as a person, and when you're trying to understand your emotions from either for men or women, that you also try really hard to just be aware of those emotions and not automatically react, but just be aware of them.
Right.
And when you start to become more and more aware of your emotions, you will notice how you handle certain situations a lot differently. Whereas before you were quick to snap at the person that forgot your fries and in your lunch or something like that.
Right.
Or you say, okay, this person forgot my fries. Let me just go up here and be like, hey, I forgot something. Can you put this in here and keep it moving, right?
Right. Right. For sure. Definitely. And just a tidbit to piggyback off what you just said, to be able to be aware of how those emotions make your body feel, because absolutely harboring emotions is unhealthy for you physically. Like
Yes, very much.
it's definitely like pain in your chest, ulcers, all those things. That's a topic for another day. But it's definitely